Hey YouTube, I have seen this um, blog going around YouTube, the controversial parenting tag. So I thought that me and little Miss Brianna would do this vlog together. She's so tired, but she's writing it. She doesn't want to go to sleep. So I thought since I got a little bit of time on my hands, I would do this video. Now, like the title says, this is controversial, so a lot of my views might not be the same as yours, and there's nothing wrong with that. We should all just agree to disagree if we don't have the same views. So, with that being said, I have my list here of topics. The first topic is pro-life versus pro-choice. I am pro-life. Me personally, I could never get an abortion. I got pregnant with my first daughter when I was 19, and that's, I guess that's not really young. But I wasn't ready for a baby, and I had a lot of offers on different choices where I could have gotten an abortion, and I just couldn't do it. So, as far as that goes, I'm definitely pro-life. The second topic is baby wearing. I don't really see how this could be controversial. I mean, why would it be bad to wear your baby? I don't know. Basically, it's just an easier way to hold your child. If it makes it easier for you, I don't see anything wrong with it. I have a Moby wrap, a homemade, excuse you, a homemade, anyway, I have a homemade Moby wrap for her that I used when she was a little smaller, and it's helpful when you have things that you gotta get done and you need 4 arms and you only have 2. Then instead of carrying your baby, you just put them in the wrap. I don't use it anymore because she doesn't like to be that confined, but I do plan on getting a, what is it called? I don't remember, I can't think of the word, but one of the backpack looking ones. I do plan on getting one of those because sometimes it's just easier. So my view on that is I have nothing against it. The next choice, or it's late. The next topic is circumcision. To be brutally honest, I have 4 girls, so I've never had to really think about the whole circumcision thing. But when I got pregnant with Brianna, my husband and I were really looking into it, and before I knew that she was a girl, I was completely for circumcision. I thought, that's just what you do. Everybody does it. You're supposed to get it done. It's just part of having a boy. And after doing a lot of research on it, I am now against it, and I would not get it done. Just my personal view on it. I now see that, as far as I'm concerned, it's not necessary to put your baby through that procedure when there's no point, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Adoption. Next topic is adoption. This is another topic. I'm not really sure why it would be controversial. I think adoption is great. Um, I was not officially, but I was adopted by my aunt when I was 12, and um, I think that if there's a couple that wants to have a baby that can't, or maybe they can and they just prefer adoption. There's so many babies and children that need a home, and adoption makes that possible. So definitely for adoption. I think it's a great, great thing. Next topic is baby piercing. Are you getting coffee? Like I said before, 4 girls. My first 3, I just kind of did it. Didn't really think about it. Um, Besides her, my first 3, my youngest of those 3 is almost 4. So it kind of feels weird saying this, but I feel like I know more now than I did then. You get wiser with age, and um, now that we have Brianna, we talked about it the other day actually, and decided that we're just gonna wait and let her decide if she wants to get it done. I know it's not like a huge deal, but yeah, we're just gonna wait and maybe take her to go get it done on one of her birthdays or something, if it's something that she decides she wants to do. Um, my next youngest, not her, but Evelyn, um, her ears were pierced and she absolutely hates wearing earrings. We put them in when she goes to church, and immediately when we get home she wants to take them out. So I think it's worth it just to wait and let her decide on her own. Next topic, breast milk versus formula. I think everybody knows breast milk is best for your baby, but there are circumstances where maybe breastfeeding is not an option. I breastfeed Brianna 95% of the time, but I do supplement with formula. I get very busy having this many children, and I work part-time, and I'm trying to go to school, and it's a lot. And if I wanted to put the time and dedication into breastfeeding 100% of the time, I know I could, but sometimes it's just hard. But I breastfeed her way more often than I formula feed. So sometimes there's just that time where um, I'm really busy, I'm in the middle of something and she wants to eat, and I would rather just finish what I'm doing and let her have a few ounces of formula, or maybe Daddy wants to feed her, or whatever the case may be. Um, so I'm not really for or against either one. It just really depends on the circumstance. Next topic is spanking. This is probably one of the most controversial topics on here. In this household, we do believe in spanking. I see. How do I explain this nicely? I do believe that there's a difference between spanking your child and beating the crap out of your child. Um, I was actually, my mother did not do a very good job disciplining me as a child. I think she took it to the extreme, and because I was in that circumstance, I know what the extreme is. But I do believe that sometimes other disciplining methods just don't work. And something small that your child has done, obviously, they don't deserve a spanking. Putting them in the corner, timeout, that will work just fine. But some things, as far as I'm concerned, do deserve a spanking. And um, in this house, we don't spank that often, and it's not really about spanking. It's about, like, for instance, if they do something wrong and you tell them no, and that's it, they're more apt to do it again because they're going to be like, oh, she said no. Ooh, that's scary. And they'll just do it again. Whereas if you spank them and tell them no, the next time they're going to be like, okay, well, she said no, but I also got a spanking for it and I didn't like it, so I'm definitely not going to do it. So that is my view on it. Like I said, we don't spank very often. Spankings are exactly that. Spankings, not beatings, and it's spanking on the butt. We don't like knock them upside the head or anything like that. But it works well for us and our family, and sometimes other methods just don't cut it. Okay, next is co-sleeping. I'm going to be extremely hypocritical here because I don't believe in co-sleeping, but I do co-sleep sometimes. There are so many cases each year of babies getting smothered because of co-sleeping, or maybe they don't get smothered, but they get like wedged in between the wall and suffocate that way. Um, so I don't really believe in co-sleeping. However, Brianna is on a really good schedule at the moment. She goes to sleep. I'll give her her last feeding at about 11, maybe 11:30 at night. We're night owls, so we stay up later. Anyway, and I'll put her in her swing at the foot of the bed, and she'll sleep in her swing until usually 5:30 to 6 o'clock, and then I'll get her and put her in bed, and we'll sleep for another 2 hours or so. But usually, my husband goes to work. His schedule varies, but sometimes he'll get up and go to work, so we'll have the bed to ourselves. So it's not like we're really squished together. And as soon as she gets into the bed, I turn into a statue. Whatever position I fall asleep in, I won't move. And I know that I won't move because when I wake up, I'm really stiff. So that's my view on that. Next topic, home versus public versus private versus charter schooling. My oldest is just now in kindergarten in a public school, so I'm not a genius on this topic, and I won't pretend to be. As far as what we plan on doing now, I do believe that school is it has a huge influence on your children. The kids that they decide to hang out with, the things that they see, it really impacts them. So what we plan on doing is our kids will go to elementary school, maybe middle school, public school, and then we will start homeschool. Now, it's a ways off, because I'm kind of iffy on whether or not we're going to start middle school or high school, homeschool, school. But we do plan on taking them out of public school into homeschool at some point. Okay, don't get fussy, baby. We're almost done. Next topic is vaccinations. Another very controversial topic. We do 100% vaccinate and on time. We do not delay schedules, and we do not skip any vaccinations. I know there are a lot of parents that believe um, in not vaccinating for whatever reason, but there have been several outbreaks recently in this year of several different diseases due to parents not vaccinating their children. And that does not only affect their children, it affects other people's children as well. And I personally don't understand why somebody wouldn't want to vaccinate. I know there are risks involved, but to be honest, there are risks involved in everything you do. When you wake up in the morning, you could, there's a risk that you could fall into the bathtub and get electrocuted by your iron or something. You go to work and you drive, there's a bigger risk with that. I believe that vaccinations are a wonderful new development with our technology that we have nowadays, and yeah, I won't get into a huge rant about vaccinations, but yes, we do vaccinate. Brianna actually got her 2-month vaccination a few weeks ago. So, next topic, medicating children. I'm not really sure if this is talking about like over-the-counter medication or prescription medication. Obviously like Tylenol or something if they have a fever is perfectly fine. As far as like ADHD or stuff like that, my brother was actually diagnosed with ADHD and a few other things, and I honestly think they jumped the gun and they were giving him medication that he really didn't need. So I'm not for medicating children as far as that goes, unless you have several doctors' opinions that are all on the same page. And I'm still even iffy on it then. Cloth versus disposable diapers. I didn't know that cloth diapers even existed with my first 3. I would have definitely used cloth diapers with them had I known, but unfortunately I didn't. But now we do cloth diaper. She's got her cute little her onesie's covering it up. She got a little turtle frog cloth diaper on, and I love it. If we have any more children, they will also be cloth diapered. It's super easy, and it's nice not having to buy diapers. So, next topic, cried out method. This really depends, once again, on the circumstance, and like their age. Like right now, I think Brianna's too young to cry it out. I still think she's at that age where if she's crying for a reason. Um, if she's crying, she's usually hungry, wet, has gas, something like that. However, when they get older, um, I I wouldn't say I would use it all the time, but I've had 3 girls prior to Brianna, and honestly, I've had to use the cried out method before just because they're only crying because they want attention, or if I put them to sleep, they're crying because they don't want to go to sleep, and to me that's not a good enough reason. So I would just let them cry themselves to sleep. If they were crying, I would check on them every 5 minutes if they were crying, just to make sure they were okay, and they would not cry for very long, and they would eventually cry themselves to sleep, and it would be just fine. So, Miss Brianna's getting fussy, and this video is getting a little long. So, I'm going to wrap it up. That is all of the topics. If you haven't done this video yet, I urge you to do it. It's fun just to see, what everybody else's view is on parenting, even if we don't all agree on everything. So, thanks for watching. Bye!